I want to illustrate that one to you just a little bit further, and I'm going to ask you to imagine with me. Will you do that? Will you imagine with me? Say yes. Okay. I want you to imagine that it is a beautiful spring day. You are sitting in your house, in your favorite chair, which just happens to be sitting right next to this big plate glass window. The sun is pouring through the window. You're curled up in your chair. You're reading your favorite book. You're getting nice and toasty warm, and you're completely engrossed in your book until something begins to start nagging on your consciousness. It begins to creep in on the edges of your consciousness. And the something is this. It's a sound. Bzzz. 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 Is that beginning to bother you yet? Yeah, because in fact it does bother you. It bothers you enough that you finally look up and you see that up against the window pane there's a fly. And this fly is trying to get out of this window. It's trying to go to that big outside world it seeks, but it keeps hitting up against the glass. Now the fly is doing what the fly has always done. The fly knows that if I fly towards the light, I'm going to get to where I want to go. It's doing what it's always done. But the irony is that in this situation, this fly will probably die trying. It will either die from sheer exhaustion, or it will die because you will get up and smack it with your book. Now, I said that was an irony, but there is, in fact, a deeper irony. You see, less than 10 feet away, there is a door. And this door is wide open. And if this fly knew any better, it could simply fly out that door to that big outside world it seeks. But the fly doesn't know any better. The fly is caught in this belief that what has worked for me before should work for me in the future. Leaders, don't be the fly.
Meet Merge Gupta-Sunderji. Merge is a woman with tools. Tools that turn managers into leaders.
Tools to help them get what they need while still being respectful to the people around them.
Tell me if this has ever happened to you. How many of you as leaders have ever given your employees what you thought were perfectly clear instructions only to discover later they didn't quite get it?
Assertive people believe, I have rights, you have rights. I'm going to get what I need. Notice that assertive people always get what they need.
Those are 4 of my employees. There's, tried that 5 years ago, didn't work then, ain't going to work now, Martha. There's, what do I do next, Bernard? There's a dream come true, Dana. And then there's, the world is out to get me, Mike. Now, why am I telling you about my 4 employees? Because they lead right into the first thing I want to share with you about what every leader should know about communication. One question you should never ask. Do not ask, do you understand? Because what's the answer? What do people say? Yes, and you know that 50% of the time they are lying.
Merge equips people with tools. Tools to help them become better leaders. Tools to build better teams. Tools to motivate and energize their people. Specific and practical tools that are easy to use.
Now, when you're a leader, the rules change. When you're a leader, it isn't good enough to just refill your own cookie jar. You suddenly become responsible for filling other people's cookie jars. That's what today's most successful leaders have figured out. They figured out that in order to be successful, they need to make investments in other people. They need to put cookies into their jar. But there's more. Valerie, what kind of cookies did you say your favorite kind? Peanut butter. Is there a kind you don't like?
Oatmeal raisin.
You don't like oatmeal raisin, like really don't like them? Hate them. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm a good leader, and I've decided that it's important for me to put cookies into Valerie's jar, and Valerie works for me. So I make it a point to refill her cookie jar constantly. The only problem is I keep giving her oatmeal raisin. Is it working? No. See, it isn't good enough to just put cookies into people's jars. I need to give them the kind of cookies they like.
Merge has wowed audiences and affected leaders and managers from the U.S. to the U.K. With over 17 years of leadership experience at one of the world's largest corporations, Merge knows firsthand what it takes to be a great leader and an effective communicator. Learn what hospital executives in Indiana and Colorado have learned from Merge. Hear what government workers all over Canada and the U.S. have heard from Merge. See what associations in Nova Scotia and New York have seen with Merge. Experience what corporations in the UK and the Caribbean have experienced with Merge. Whether your audience is frontline supervisors, mid-level managers, or seasoned executives, Merge will give them tools to motivate their teams, communicate better with their people, coach and lead their teams to higher productivity, develop an environment where employees thrive.
All the things that made you successful in the past are not the things that are going to make you successful in the future. See, before we got into leadership positions, think about yourself, those of you in the room who are in positions of formal leadership. Before you got into that formal leadership position, you were responsible for taking a task from start to finish, right? Right? Yeah. Now, the moment you get into a leadership position, you are now responsible for watching other people take those tasks from start to finish, and sometimes they don't do it the way you think they should.
Expect the best. Learn from the expert. Get practical tools that work. Book Merge.
Management is what you do. Leadership is how you do it.
I give people specific and practical tools that they can use. Tools that they can use immediately and see the impact of right away.